Okay, so a lot of this unit is going to be us talking about borrowing money, which the big thing in life with borrowing money is getting a mortgage for a house. That's going to be your biggest thing. So before you get a mortgage from the bank, they have to approve you. So this is what this lesson is about. So here's some words we're going to run into. Your net worth. So net worth is your assets minus your debt. So to find your net worth, you're going to add up everything you own. That's the good money. Much of this net worth is in the form of assets, like having money in your stocks, your real estate, or investments. Net worth is the best way to understand your financial health. And if you track it over time, your net worth will illustrate your progress you're making towards saving and paying off your debt. Okay? So in life, when you start out, you're obviously going to have a lot of debt in life. But as you age, your debt would become less and your assets should be becoming higher, right? That's the goal when you retire, is to have no debt and you just have full assets. Okay, so here's some things that are good to have. Money in your bank account. Any value in your investments, a car, the market value of your home, anything that you have in a business plan, personal property. You could have some expensive jewelry, art, furniture. You could have cash value of any insurance policies. Liabilities. The mortgage that you still own the bank, that's a bad thing. A car loan, credit card, outstanding balance, student loans. So those are bad things to have. Okay, so for instance, you'll be doing this, but when you think about having a house, you think, oh, that's an asset, I have a house. Okay, but let's pretend you go to sell your house and it's worth $250,000, that's not your money. You probably still owe the bank some money, right, on your mortgage. Okay, so the asset part of that, you would have to think about what I have on my house, but subtract what I still own the bank with my mortgage. Okay, we're going to be doing a debt to equity ratio. Investors and analysts use this ratio to measure a company's debt in relation to its assets. And this measure tells them the ability of a company to repay the debt it is taking on. Here's the number. 50%. They will reject you if your debt is more than your assets. So 50%, should be 50-50 is the bad number where they will reject you. They might reject you as well. So if you had something like that, 40 to 60, that might be questionable. They might reject you if they have other reasons. But as soon as your debt is more than your equity, you're getting rejected for sure by the bank. Okay? The bank will not loan you money. Okay, so here's kind of their thought process. If this is 30%, the debt, you only have 30% debt, that's actually considered excellent. 30 to 36 is acceptable. Anything, like I said, 40, questionable, they could reject you, but once you hit the 50 mark, they're for sure rejecting you. Okay, Some of you, I remember in your essentials, if you've taken your essentials in grade 12, you've done this one. Gross debt service ratio. Okay, they try to figure out the proportion of your income you would be paying each month to own a particular property. So first the lender will establish your annual mortgage, property taxes, the heating costs, all that kind of stuff. So they're figuring out how much it's going to cost you to live there. The lender will then add up that and divide it by your gross annual income. If the answer is, can you highlight that or circle it? Less than 32%, they will feel confident that you can afford this. So this is trying to just figure out, can you afford this? Can you afford your bills? Can you afford your payments of your hydro and your heating and your, what's other things that come with house stuff? Give me some other costs. Property taxes. You're always going to have a heating bill. What else besides your mortgage payments? Water. Hydro. Insurance. You have to pay all these things. Okay, let's look at number 1. Okay, here's your 3 formulas. They are on your formula sheet that I gave you at the very first day of the year. So there's what that would be. Okay, Melanie's house is worth $125,000, but she still owes on her mortgage. She has this in her savings, this on her credit card. She owes this much to the credit union and figures that her car and household is worth $15,000. Net worth. That's what we're trying to figure out. Okay, so your net worth is what you have in assets minus what you have in liabilities. Okay, so let's take one thing at a time. Her house is worth $125,000. That would be an asset. She owes this much on her mortgage yet. So that's still with the bank. That's still the loan part. So that's a liability. This is in her savings account. So that's an asset. This is credit card debt. So that's a liability. She owes this. So that $6,000 number is a liability. Figures her car and house items are worth $15,000. So that is a asset. Can you figure out how much total assets she has? How much total liabilities she has by adding the 2 columns? Okay, so simply what all the assets together minus all the liabilities together. Do you guys know that what is it called? When I was your age, it was hard for me to start my first car loan because I hadn't built any credit with the bank. That's what I'm looking for. Have you guys started building credit with the bank? Like owning any kind of loan. It's not a bad idea for you at your age to go take out a $1,000 loan just to repay it with the bank so that they have something to go off of when you go to buy a car. Can you get approved for the loan? They'll go look to see, have you ever done anything with money before at the bank? And then you have credit in your name. Alright, Thomas is going to get a loan with the bank, but he is going to see if they're going to lend him the money. Okay, let's figure out what his assets are, what the liabilities are. Okay, the house value, that's an asset. Mortgage, what's left on our mortgage, that's a liability. Okay, $21,000 in savings, that's an asset. Student loans, that is a liability. Credit card, that's a liability. Okay, add up the total assets. Okay, again, subtract them and that will give us our net worth. All right. We're going to do this formula. Debt to equity ratio. Debt to equity ratio. Okay? Alright, so the formula, I'm going to write it out here so I don't have to flip back and forth. We're going to go liabilities minus mortgage over net worth times 100. Okay, so the total liabilities is the 230,000 number minus what's left on your mortgage. So that's the 190 divided by your net worth, 110. And then we're timesing it by 100 as a percent. I got 36.4% as an answer. Okay, is Thomas going to get approved with that percent? What did we say was the magic number for having debt to equity? 50% is the number. Okay, so, yep. %50 is a for sure rejection. 40s would be a questionable rejection or approval. Okay, number 3, the Smiths are going to buy a house. Can they afford it? Okay, so we are going to be doing this one. Gross debt service ratio. Alright, so let's do this. So it's monthly mortgage plus monthly property tax plus monthly heating divided by gross monthly income. Okay? We're going to figure this out. What is the magic percent that we are trying to get under on this one? So you're going to have to remember these numbers. The magic number is we want to be under 32. Okay, you ready? The monthly payments for the house, they want it to be $1,900. So that's where we'll put monthly mortgage. Property taxes. The annual property taxes are $2,800. How many of you would have written $2,800? Because it's not right. What's wrong with this? That's annual. Okay? So I'm going to go 2,800 divided by 12 to figure out how much a month that is. Hopefully you're not paying $2,800 a month on your property taxes. 233? Okay, I'll just leave it like this. I'll just type it in like that. And monthly heating costs, $260. Okay, we have a gross income of both of them, so we're going to add them together. Because we take into account those two incomes. And then don't forget, everything on this is monthly. So we're going to have to take their annual salaries and then add them, divide it by 12, okay? Okay, so do all that work. Make sure that you do brackets or push enter before you divide, because that will go wonky on you. So this isn't necessarily understanding like approval, but more of can they afford this? I would say that banks probably do this the other way. They probably want to figure out how much could you afford. So yes, they can afford this. This is good. It's not too overwhelming for them. It's not over 32%. Okay, so when you're doing that question, just make sure monthly, monthly, monthly. Everything's with monthly. And remember the magic number on that, 32. Okay, so I'm going to do the last question, is that formula, but we're going to do it the other way around. We're trying to now figure out, this is what the bank would do. They're going to tell you how much you can afford with a monthly mortgage payment. Okay, are you okay if I don't write monthly, but we understand that everything is monthly? So what was it? Mortgage plus tax plus heat over income. All right, so there's the formula. Everything is monthly. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be finding the max. So the max that we ever can get to is the number that would give us 32%. So I'm going to write here 0.32. And then that deactivates that 100 as well because I took the 32 and I divided it by 100 already. Okay? If you want, you can leave it as 32 and keep the 100 in the formula, but I've already divided by the 100. Okay, so that 100 is gone now. Okay, let's see what we can fill in. So mortgage is what we're trying to figure out. Okay, the average property taxes are $3,400 a year. So you can divide them by 12 or you can just leave it in the formula like that. Heating costs $230 a month. And how much income do you make a month? So don't forget to divide that by 12. Okay, what is our first algebra maneuver here? So the rest of this you got to do with algebra. Get the mortgage loan. I'm going to times both sides. So $2,800 is your max budget a month, like total budget with all this. So just the mortgage, so we're going to minus and that is actually a pretty healthy mortgage payment there.